And to start off the show, well, we've got a longtime friend of not only the program, but the brand, and this guy himself, Matt Werner, the East Palestine grad, and it's so big influencer in the community of East Palestine, is going to join us, and he's going to talk about the Road to Recovery on June 10th and why it's so important for you to get involved, whether you're going to sponsor it, whether you're going to walk or run or just be there and wave on everybody and support it. Given everything that's happened in East Palestine over the last 3 months, a guy who has been basically at the heart of it all, and his heart is so big for the youth. So we're going to talk to him in just a moment. And I'm excited for this, just crazy excited for this, because I know where he is in this, because we've been lockstep pretty much the entire time. I love what he's doing. I love what he's doing it for and the reasons that he's doing it. So hell, let's just bring him in right now, because I mean, why wait, right? Matt Werner, the OG. Matt, we've gone to high school together. We've grown up together from that standpoint, still in the community. And you, my friend, had a great idea that started literally as a spitball. And you said, hey, I really want to do this Road to Recovery walk and 5K. You picked out the date, and then from there, it has just snowballed right down the hill. You've raised over $100,000 for the youth, initiative in East Palestine, which I absolutely love. And you've done so much for the community behind closed doors that they'll never even know about. Thank you for joining the show, and thank you for all you're doing for our youth.
DJ, thank you, man. That's a way to start off a show right there. That's pretty impressive.
Talk to me about the Road to Recovery, Matt. I mean, why is it so important for you to do this? Why you? Why now? And essentially, why is it important for everybody else?
Well, DJ, you know this as well as everybody else that's involved with our youth programs. We want to make sure that East Palestine remains a place for kids to want to be. And I don't know that everybody truly understands what these kids have gone through in East Palestine, from COVID and out of this train derailment, through losing kids in our school that either open enroll in other schools after the train derailment, or that have decided to do online learning. But our job as parents, as community activists, as supporters and advocates of East Palestine, our job is to give the very best we can to the youth. And we pride ourselves on that. I know you certainly do, with everything that you've done for EPYSA and all the other programs here. And we want to do our part to make sure that we enhance what we currently have, and we put other opportunities out there for kids to want to be here, to get their mind off things that have happened, and to make this community a better place, and to let them know that we need them to be able to do that.
You've been an advocate from day one, and I've been right beside you, right behind you, wherever you've needed me to be, and bringing people back into East Palestine. Because, as we saw when the derailment first happened, nobody wanted to step foot in here. People were afraid for good reason, right? They weren't getting the answers that they necessarily were looking for or that they deserved. And some of those answers are still kind of lingering out there. But we've been given the okay by the EPA. We've been given the okay by our governor, and of course by Norfolk Southern themselves, and said, hey, it's okay for these people to live here. Now it's your turn to support them and help them get back up and pick themselves up by their bootstraps, and essentially get back on their feet and make this community a better place than it was on February 2nd, 2023. From your perspective, how has the roller coaster ride been in the youth realm, and just as a family, as a dad, and as a husband?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very knowledgeable guy told us that we want to come out of this and be victors, not victims. So I don't really want to talk any more about the roller coaster ride, but I will tell you that we have seen drop off and decline in what kids want to do and what we might have available to us, and we're not okay with that. We're not okay with having games canceled, sports canceled, track meets canceled, volleyball tournaments canceled, basketball tournaments canceled. We're not okay with that. We've been told it's okay to go back and live our life the way we need to live it. And what we need to do is figure out how to make that happen and how to make people feel safe doing that. And so as a parent of kids that are in East Palestine that I'm sure are hearing mixed messages from all the messaging that goes around on social media to what you hear downtown, what I'm sure they're hearing at the school. My heart goes out to all these kids, not just my own, because you don't know how they're going to be able to deal with this and cope with this and put the pieces of the puzzle together to figure out how to deal with what they're hearing that we don't even know about. We can only assume what's normal today was unheard of when we grew up. So, our job as parents and community members is to give them the best opportunity that we can. And that's what, with your help and our help and whatever we can do, that's what our plans are, to make the best experiences we can for our kids. As a coach, I look at the kids and the talent that we have in our town, and we just want to enhance that. What we have to offer is really unique. East Palestine in the last, call it 5 years, has been able to offer experiences that no other district or town our size offers. I mean, for crying out loud, we're on the Cavs court. We're going to tour the PNC Park. We go down to Ohio State for football, and there's things that kids get to do in East Palestine that you can't go to neighboring schools and expect to get. And so I'm proud of that, and we want to continue that, and we want to make sure that our kids know that this is one of the only locations, communities, schools that you're going to come to get an experience like this.
What I'm so proud of is how you've carried kind of the burden. There's a group in town of several people, multiple groups actually, of people that have taken fire basically, because we're looking at the positive side of everything that's going on. We're not sitting there saying woe is us. We're saying help us grow, help us learn, help us get back from this, and then in turn, we are a community that when we are ahead of things, we will reach out and pull you with us. And Road to Recovery is no different. I mean, you look at what has happened. Obviously, the accident is no fault of yours or mine. And there's two ways to kind of go about this: is you can sit there and point the finger at the government, at Norfolk Southern, at a multitude of different parties, or you can say, okay, this happened. We're going to be the people that grow from this. Help us do that. And Norfolk Southern has stepped up to the plate and has issued out a lot of money. And they're doing a lot here for Road to Recovery to, again, make sure that this event goes off without a hitch and is really a great event. They're bringing, and I'm so excited for this as a Steeler fan, Matt, they're bringing the bus, Jerome Bettis, the Super Bowl champion of Super Bowl 40, and Pittsburgh's, I want to say Pittsburgh's very own, but we know Detroit has him forever. But Matt, this has been a great get. You have been so big in making sure that you wanted somebody big and larger than life, and you got him in Jerome Bettis, who is going to come down for the Road to Recovery. What does this mean for the event? What does it mean to the people that are going to look at this?
Well, we got him. We got him. Now he needs to be here. But you're right. We went through great lengths to try to get somebody. And who better to get than Jerome Bettis, to be honest with you? I mean, yeah, we could have tried to reach out to anybody, but this one made sense. If you look up his story and you understand what he went through when he was in middle school, high school, to get to where he's at now, the adversity that he overcame lines up. So the story that I hope he tells and that he shares with our youth is an incredible story. And just to kind of back up, you DJ, you made some points about, wanting to move on. The one thing I want to make sure that we talk about with this Road to Recovery is, there's some pretty bad things that happened in East Palestine. And you're right. Norfolk Southern didn't ask for this. East Palestine didn't ask for this. Nobody wanted this to happen. And there were some things that a lot of people are still suffering from. And especially if you live close to the site where all this happened and you see those trucks moving every day, your way of living completely changed. And we're not trying to downplay that or to say that, hey, you just need to forget about it and move on. That is not the point of what Road to Recovery is about through the United Way of Northern Columbiana County. We acknowledge that. We just don't want to live in that narrative, meaning we feel for everybody whose life has been impacted by this. We feel for our kids. We are trying to do something about it, something positive that will make the problems a little bit better, that will give kids an understanding that there are people out there that care about them, that want to help them rise and be better tomorrow than what we are today. So, I don't want to get the the perception that this is all about, hey, we're on the Norfolk Southern train, we got to move on, we can't talk about this anymore. No, there's problems that people got to deal with, and they're going to figure out how to deal with those. My way of dealing with the problems that our kids are facing is leading by example, showing them what it's going to take something really bad and make it really good. Again, we don't want to hang our heads as victims. Like you always say, DJ, we want to be victors. And that's what the lesson is that we're going to try to teach our kids. That being said, who better to tell that story than the boss? I mean, he has such a storied background. Comes to Pittsburgh, and it took him how many years to win a Super Bowl? And the story about how he got from point A to point Z before he retired was unbelievable. It tells the tale of what East Palestine is going through now. I couldn't imagine having anybody else, and we're super excited to see him in NEP and kick this event off for us.
Matt, you talk about the support. You talk about the United Way of Northern Columbiana County, who has been integral and vital to all of our efforts here. With Road to Recovery. Who are some of the other sponsors that have stepped up? And I feel bad putting you on the spot, but being able to talk about these sponsors and people that have really stepped up financially through resources and other means to say, hey, we're standing with you in East Palestine specifically for this event.
So here's the big thing to know about this. This event is hosted by the United Way of Northern Columbiana County. I'm lucky enough to serve on their board, and I just started maybe in February. Through that, Comco Industries, which is the company that I work for, we are one of the major corporate sponsors to help sponsor this event. In cooperation with the United Way at Comco, several of us have reached out to try to gain support from manufacturing companies, several of our vendors and suppliers, steel vendors, several customers. To name a few would not be good enough, because we have over 60 people right now that have signed on as sponsors, and that number's still growing. We still have a week to take on new sponsors before we got to get all the advertising stuff out. So, I'll go through the headliners. We have Norfolk Southern, Comco Industries, Scott Mann, Rooftop Leadership Training, Fred Martin Ford, DCW Employee Benefits Consulting, the Home Depot, Worthington Industries, HEPACO, PI&I, Light and Oil, Butech Bliss. Just the number goes on and on and on. And if you really want to check this out, you'll be able to go onto our website. Our website is www.road2recovery EP. That's road, the number 2 recovery EP.com. There's a sponsor tab in the upper right-hand corner. You hit that, and you will see all the major players that have stepped up to donate money. What's really cool about this is we intentionally tried to not go after East Palestine businesses for obvious reasons, but there have been several East Palestine businesses that have wanted to donate. Britain Motors, who is a huge donor year after year after year to youth initiatives and to our youth program, they have signed on as a sponsor. East Palestine McDonald's has signed on as a sponsor. The 1820 House has signed on as a sponsor, and that list just continues to go on. And these aren't people that we're actively trying to ask. These are people that said, hey, this is my hometown. I want to be a part of this. Please accept our donation to your cause, because it's going to be very worthwhile. One other thing important to note is the Pro Football Hall of Fame was monumental, as well as the Mel Blount Youth Initiative Foundation. They were monumental in setting this up to get Jerome here. So those two entities were absolutely critical. And then the Cleveland Cavaliers, how about this, DJ? They're going to offer a youth coaching clinic for any kid that wants to stick around when the event's over to go into the East Palestine gym and be coached up for a couple fun sessions with the junior Cavs coaching team. So, I mean, you want to talk about a bunch of events. This is going to be something that is really going to bring some energy into East Palestine.
That's incredible, man. And this isn't just a one-year thing, as I understand it. This is something you want to continue year after year after year. Is that correct?
Well, right now, yes. Right now, yes. But I'm telling you, there's a lot to this. My hat goes off to everybody that organizes stuff like this, because I never did. We've had people here at Comco that have, and they know what goes into it. But this is honestly residents of East Palestine and people in the manufacturing side that know Comco, that are working with Norfolk Southern. We partner with them. We want to partner with them. They need us as much as we need them. And it's important for us to work together and collaborate together on how we can do this. It doesn't take away the fact that people are suffering, but you know what? We're trying to get through this together and take steps forward. And this is one way to do it. And you know what? It's going to be awesome to take those steps forward with Jerome Bettis.
Matt, when you close your eyes and lay your head down on the pillow at night, what do you envision and what do you dream about this event bringing to East Palestine, more than just financial gain?
Well, the first thing is we pray for good weather, because good weather is going to make this event the best. And the event that the weather doesn't work out or cooperate with us, and we'll figure out the next plan. But right now we ask for that. But here's what the goals are for this event. The first thing is we wanted to raise $100,000. Okay, that was goal number one. Goal number two is we wanted to get 500 participants to be registered for this event. And then the third thing is we want to get that photo of all the participants that are walking to walk over the railroad tracks into town and conquer their town and get their town back. We want that visual, and we want to send that visual out to all the surrounding communities so that they know that we are open for business. We need to make sure that we show them that our businesses are here, our athletic programs are here. Anything that goes on in this town, we need you to come in and support it. Our local businesses, on average, have suffered about 40 to 60% losses in revenue on average. So that's mind-blowing for any company, but for a small business in a town like East Palestine, that will destroy them. And so we're just trying to bring awareness so that people know that they're here and that they're open and that they can shop and try to help these store owners, these business owners, to claim back the business that they lost. And what better way to do it than to send a flood of people down Market Street in front of all these stores where our business owners can creatively hand out marketing brochures or do whatever they want to advertise their own company and let them see that they exist. So that's what I am hoping that we can achieve. That's the vision that we all want to get out of this, is that we get the photos we want. We want our businesses to be thriving, is the best word to say it. And then the last thing is we raise a ton of money for kids.
So when you say ton of money for kids, when somebody says, hey, I want to donate, I want to register for this walk, this run, what things are we talking about? We're talking about material things, sports. We're talking about more than just sports, right?
So here's what's awesome about this. We put a committee of people together. So we have, and I'm probably going to botch some of these names, so just forgive me, but George Hayes is the executive director of the United Way, Northern Columbiana County. He's going to chair the committee that disperses the fund. That's participant number one on this committee. We have four others. The second one is Mark Kornman. He is our CFO at Comco Industries, who's one of the leading sponsors of the event. Okay. The next one is Kristen Wong. She is part of Norfolk Southern, and she's been very impactful in what Norfolk Southern has done for the community. The third one is Linda Seabrook. She serves as a treasurer for the largest youth sports program, EPYSA, East Palestine Youth Sports Association, within our town. And then the last one is Chris Knifer, our school superintendent. Those five people are going to sit on a committee that are going to discuss how to disperse the funds. I'm not on that because I'm basketball. And if I was on that committee, even though I have a lot to do with this event, that might stray some people's opinions on where the money needs to go. And I'm not going to jeopardize the event with that. We got five really good people that are going to consider all options for where to put the money that gets raised. They're going to listen to what the needs are in the community. And the money is specifically going to go towards youth initiatives and youth programs. It could be EPYSA basketball, baseball, volleyball, flag football, Rotary soccer, wrestling. It could be Little Bulldog football. That's all the youth programs. And then under the school, whatever it is that Chris Knifer suggests, we might have K through 12 STEM program where we focus on robotics, which, I'm not trying to influence anything, but I think that would be wonderful considering all the manufacturing companies that have donated money to what we're trying to do. I think that would be a true representation of where the money came from. And then you go into drama club and the other activities that the school has to offer. So between the fine and cultural arts to the sports programs to the youth sports programs, there's just a plethora of stuff that we need to enhance to keep kids in our school, and that's what the goal is. Do I have my opinion on where I'd like the money to go? We'd have about 100 shooting machines sitting in our gym right now, but that's not what's going to happen. We're going to make sure we do it the right way, and I think all of our sponsors are going to be extremely proud to know that they donated money to this campaign and that they had a huge impact on letting these kids succeed and distract their minds from the negative messaging that's going on within the village.
Matt, on a personal note, you and I both have tried to be as positive as possible from this side. Obviously, understanding that there are certain situations that are very challenging to some families, including ours, in some capacities. When you look at how things have transpired in the last 3 months, what have you learned about yourself as a leader and as someone who has battled through adversity that you hope that your kids, your two handsome young boys, follow in your footsteps some days, and anybody that takes part in the Road to Recovery understands that everybody in East Palestine is dealing with right now?
I hope it's a good question. I never thought of it, but I'll tell you, I hope that our kids all see out of what we are all doing. And when I say we, DJ, I mean everybody that's trying to step up and be an advocate for positive change and for positive growth. I hope they see the sense of urgency to get something done, to do something. We don't want to sit around and talk, or we don't want to sit around and complain about what has or has not happened since the events occurred, or point fingers at why. We all have opinions on that, and it's okay to have an opinion on that. But what's not okay is to sit back and not do anything about it. And I hope that our kids all can look at us parents and say, you know what, there was a challenge. They stepped up. They did something about it. Whether it was the best thing they could have done or not, that can be determined at a later date. But they did something. They did something to make a bad situation better. And and the other thing is, Scott Mann trained us on this, was that you want everything to happen now. You had a problem. You want to go from problem to solution within a day, and that can't at the pace of the population. If the population isn't ready for quick change, you're not going to make quick change. And you got to understand that when you get so disgruntled that you can't get to where you want to get to, sometimes you just got to do something yourself, and then people will follow. And that's honestly what has happened with this event. I mean, we've talked about multiple different scenarios to run this Road to Recovery event, and we just decided, it was basically you and I on a phone call, we just decided, hey, just do it. Just do it. See what happens and see how big we can make this and see if we can have a positive impact on the community. And we got each other's back, and let's just get it done.
Matt, one more time, if people want to register, when is the registry deadline, and where can they go to get that done online?
Yeah, so you can go to our website. Our website address is www.road2recovery.ep. That's road, the number 2, recoveryep.com. When you log on to that site, please check it out. Shout out to Bree Cooper. She was the one that developed this website. Did a phenomenal job. You'll see some really cool photos on there. The first 2 buttons you're going to see when you get on, after you look at Jerome Bettis and some of our kids, is going to be the register now button for the event, and then the donate now button, they're both links. The register button takes you to goforarun.com. That's where everybody's registering and getting their names in. And then the second one, is the donate now button that goes right to the United Way, pointing at our event. And so, anybody that wants to sign up, we strongly encourage that. Hard to tell how many people we're going to get. I don't know if we're going to need to cap this thing off for constraint of people in crowd control or not, but hard to tell how big this thing can actually get. But I can tell you, if you consider donating or sponsoring this event, you're going to be proud of where your money went, because we got a great group of people that have controlled the funds coming in through the United Way, and that are deciding where to appropriate the funds once all the expenses are paid for and everything gets dished out. And you will not be upset by where this committee has decided to spend their money. So we're really proud of everybody that stepped up for this. And the other thing is the United Way of Northern Columbiana County. George Hayes is our executive director. They are not a normal United Way. These are volunteers, and all the money that comes in, it's funneling straight through the United Way back to the program. There's not a dime, not a single dime that the United Way is going to keep from any donation. They're bringing it in, they're controlling the funds, and they're going to pay it all out to wherever our committee decides it's going to go. So that's been a big concern of people around the village for whatever reason. Maybe they've had troubles in the past with other nonprofits, but I can tell you, I serve on the board for this local United Way chapter, and it's full of a group of wonderful people that only want to help in East Palestine. And the United Way of Northern Columbiana County is all about support. They don't flaunt themselves in any way. They don't pretend to be something that they're not. They are very good, humble people that are only looking to support. And I'm just really proud to be part of this group. And I'm proud to be part of Comco to support this group, and help raise funds for them.
Absolutely. Matt Werner, thank you so much for the time, my friend. Best of luck with Road to Recovery. June 10th here in East Palestine, 9 a.m., correct?
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Be there by 7:30 so you can get your spot to hopefully meet the bus.
The bus. We'll be here in East Palestine. A dream come true for this bus fan forever. Matt Werner, thank you very much, my friend. Best of luck.
All right. Thank you, DJ.